You are listening to the Learn English Through Football podcast. Hello everyone and welcome to the show for all those who love the beautiful game of football and who want to improve their English language skills. My name is Damien and I am in a cold but bright London and I am one half of the Language Caster team. The other member, of course, is Damon, who is in Japan, and I wonder how he feels about his team Liverpool's draw at Everton midweek under the lights.
Hi Damien, I knew you would ask about the Merseyside derby. I'm not going to lie, I was gutted when Everton scored that equaliser with the last kick in 7 minutes of added on time. 4 goals and 4 red cards, drama, shithousery, dodgy refereeing, a rocking stadium, a fight between the players. What a great way for the last derby at Goodison Park to end. I would have preferred the 3 points though. What did you think?
It was a great occasion and great fun. I don't think it will affect Liverpool's run to the title, but I'm sure that Everton fans must be loving it.
Hello, my name is Marcelo. I'm from Brazil. I'm a fan of Vasco da Gama, and you are listening to languagecaster.com.
And how is your favourite team doing? Did they win, lose or draw this week? Can I just highlight one amazing victory for League of Ireland club Shamrock Rovers, who won their Conference League playoff first leg game away in Norway, with the winning goal coming from a 16-year-old player making his debut. That's playing his first ever game for the club. Michael Noonan is only 16 and is now one of the youngest ever scorers in European competition. Amazing. That's a much better news story, of course, than if you are a Tottenham fan like me, as we had 2 cup defeats. That's 2 cup exits in 4 days last week, which was very painful indeed.
皆さんは languagecaster.com を聞いています。
Okay, that message or stinger was in Japanese, and we'll be hearing some more languages throughout the show. Can you guess what ones they are?
Tá tú a géisteacht le languagecaster.com.
Now, on this week's Football Language podcast, we look back at some of the language from the playoff round first leg matches from the Champions League that took place this week. In particular, we will look at the phrase to settle the tie from the Manchester City versus Real Madrid game. We'll also look at the phrase playoff. We will also look at some of the big games taking place this weekend in our predictions, including some big matches from the Premier League and the Derby d'Italia between Juventus and Inter.
State ascoltando languagecaster.com.
Playoff first leg. Manchester City and Real Madrid faced each other for the 4th time in 5 seasons in the Champions League, but rather than playing each other in the quarter-final or semi-final, they had to play in the playoff round. Well, what is a playoff? This is usually an extra match or round to decide which teams will continue in the competition, which teams will go through to the next round of the tournament. We have a playoff to see if a team can progress. In this season's European competitions, there has been a new format with 36 sides playing 8 matches in the group stage. At the end of this set of matches, the top 8 teams automatically qualify for the round of 16, while the next best 16 teams go into a playoff round to decide who would also join them. This means there has been an extra round of matches which are called playoff games or playoff ties. They are played home and away, and these matches are known as legs, the home or first leg and the away or second leg. Sometimes this second leg is known as the return leg. So, as Manchester City finished in 22nd place in the group stage and Real Madrid in 11th, it meant that these 2 powerhouses had to face off in order to make the last 16. To settle the tie. Okay, so we can see that a playoff game or tie is used to decide which team will progress to the next round of the tournament. And another phrase that means to decide something in football is to settle the tie. So in this playoff game, Madrid player Jude Bellingham scored a late goal which turned out to be the winner. His goal decided the game. His goal settled the game. If an action leads to a final result, then we can use this verbal phrase to settle the tie. It is often used when a game has been really exciting with lots of things happening, which was the case in this match. First, City went ahead, then Madrid equalised before a penalty gave City the lead again, until the final 5 minutes, when first a mishit shot from Mbappe and then a Bellingham strike settled the game in Madrid's favour. Here are a couple of examples from the British media. Jude Bellingham's injury time winner settled a tense playoff first leg in Real Madrid's favour. And number 2, Real Madrid's Bellingham settles thriller to leave Manchester City on ropes. So both of these reports focus on the fact that the game was an exciting one. Bellingham settled a tense playoff first leg in the BBC report, while in The Guardian they called it a thriller, a really exciting match, which Bellingham settled. The second leg of this playoff round takes place next week, and although nothing has been settled or decided yet, most people and pundits feel that Real Madrid will now make it through to the last 16.
Vous écoutez languagecaster.com.
Okay, let's take a look at this week's predictions. We have 5 games this week, 3 from the Premier League, a top-of-the-table clash from the Bundesliga, and of course the big game in Italy between Juventus and Inter. And here's Damon with his predictions.
Thanks, Damien. Right, we've got 3 games in the Premier League, starting with Manchester City hosting Newcastle. As Damien has already talked about, Manchester City were beaten by Real Madrid after looking fairly comfortable and being 2-1 up. They are a very fragile team at the moment, meaning any setback can affect them. I think Newcastle may trouble Man City's backline and sneak a 1-0 away win. Next is a really interesting game between 2 bottom half teams. Spurs versus Man United. These 2 teams aren't used to scrapping it out so low in the table, and both will be desperate to win. I think neither will, and this will end in an exciting 2-2 draw. On Sunday, my team Liverpool will hope to bounce back from their painful draw with derby rivals Everton. My football supporter mind says they will struggle against their opponents Wolverhampton Wanderers, while the form book says Liverpool should win. I'll go with form and say a 2-0 home win for the Reds. In the Bundesliga, it's second place Bayer Leverkusen, the champions, taking on current leaders Bayern Munich. Although it's the top 2 teams, there's quite a gap between first and second, and while Bayern were beaten at home in the reverse fixture, I think Bayern might get revenge this time and win 2-1. To finish, we have the Derby d'Italia, Juventus versus Inter. Despite this being at Juventus, I think the Nerazzurri Inter will prove too strong and win 2-1. Well, those are my predictions. Hopefully I can close the 5-point gap between myself and Damien in our predictions table. What are your predictions? Drop us a line and let us know at admin@languagecaster.com.
Thanks for those, Damon. I agree that Liverpool will bounce back and win against Wolves, but I think the big games in Italy and Germany will both end in draws. As for my team Tottenham, well, hopefully we can get something from this game. Yeah, maybe a 2-1 win for Spurs.
Esteu escoltant languagecaster.com.
And before we finish, here is a reminder that if you have any questions about the language of football or comments on the podcast, please contact us via email at admin@languagecaster.com. Also, come along to the website to check out the Football Language Forum, where you can ask and answer any questions you have on the language of football. And don't forget to come along to our massive glossary of football vocabulary to find out more about different kinds of football language. And we'd love it if you tell a friend about us and maybe give us a like and follow on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook and Blue Sky, among many others.
Je luistert naar languagecaster.com.
Thanks for that message, which was in Dutch. We also heard Catalan, French, Japanese, Irish and Italian stingers throughout the show. And thanks everyone for listening today. We looked at the phrases playoff game first leg and settle the tie from some of the big European matches during the week. Let us know if you hear these phrases while watching football in any language, of course. We'd love to hear from you and to find out how we are getting on. So we have posted a link in this post and on our site for a short survey. If you get a few minutes, then that would be great. Enjoy all the football this weekend, and we'll be back soon with a new football expression on Monday. Bye bye.